Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what people are talking about. I don't care what people are reacting to. I don't care what people are posting. I almost don't even care how this video performs. This is the most important news in hip hop, freedom of speech, and freedom of artistic expression. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I've made a video this important and this big in a while. Now, before we start, I need you to go get one of these. Hip hop always wins. I need you to get one of these. Link is in the pinned comment. Go to fromthevillage.us, grab one. Anyone who grabs one this week, I'm giving a personal shout out and thank you video I will be sending. Ladies and gentlemen, we got people like Aubrey Graham who are actively suing over rap lyrics, who are actively trying to step and limit freedom of speech and freedom of artistic expression. And yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe I'm reading this. This is the ISOCAM. The newly passed PACE Act would restrict when prosecutors can cite rap lyrics in a criminal case, part of a nationwide effort to limit the practice. Get this video to 8,000 thumbs up. I need this. I need nothing. I need a bunch of this video to be flooded up with comments that says hip hop always wins. Yes, this is directly going against Drake, directly making it harder for him to impede. And I cannot believe that the people outside of hip hop are the ones fighting for hip hop. Let me not even say they're outside of hip hop. Let me not even just assume. Why am I assuming that? Could be a bunch of hip hop heads in Maryland who passed this. My bad. I'm bugging. But hip hop is winning. Ladies and gentlemen, an attack on creative freedom. Maryland passes new law to keep rap lyrics out of criminal cases. This is what I've been saying. This is what I've been fighting for. This is what I've been protesting against. This is why I have a problem with Drake to my core. Drake never does the suing thing. We just have the battle. I have no problem with Drake, really. He caught a nasty L, and I'll probably make jokes for the rest of the time, but no problem. It was this when you crossed hip-hop. What did I say? My bias is hip-hop. We all have a bias. Shirts coming soon. My bias is hip-hop. And once you go against that, you go against me. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to read this. Listen, Maryland passes legislation on Thursday to restrict when prosecutors can cite rap lyrics as criminal evidence against the artists who wrote them, becoming the third state to reign in this controversial practice. It's crazy we got to make specific laws for hip hop. I want people to know that this was always about black art. Let's keep it real. Now, there are going to be people who are going to ask, but what about the people who just straight up incriminate themselves and in their lyrics and stuff? Let me make a distinction, right? To me, my rule of thumb is once you get to rapping about actual crimes, actual murders, actual deaths, and you start saying names and stuff, you're no longer rapping. You are confessing over a beat. That shit, go ahead, use that. I don't give a damn about that. If you talk about, we shot Pete in the head at 12:30 on 63rd and then yeah, you should go to jail, nigga. Because my thing would be, at that point, are you saying if someone gets interrogated in a court, like an interrogation, or say something, and then they throw a beat on, it's like inadmissible now? No. There's a difference between gangster rap and drill. That's why I say drill is one of the worst things that ever happened to black people, period. Gangster rap is different. Gangster rap is Quentin Tarantino. Gangster rap is the movie Scarface. Drill is just watching a documentary of Jeffrey Dahmer. That's the difference. You feel me? I always thought niggas who like drill too much, there's something wrong with you, brother. Enjoy Millie Rocker while niggas talking about killing niggas' fathers and sons. You over here Millie rocking to it. You've never even met these niggas. Anyway, my bad. Let's get back to it. The Protecting Artists Creative Expression Act, the PACE Act, would allow prosecutors to use rap lyrics and other creative expression only after a judge has decided that it meets certain strict requirements, including that it was intended as a literal statement and the facts. Okay, so like I said, this isn't a thing to help those drill rappers. Nah, you can lock all them niggas up. I don't give a fuck. Y'all niggas is disgusting. Um, and you niggas ain't rappers, by the way. Let's stop tainting rap music where a bunch of sociopaths and serial killers hijacked rap and then started to try to rewrite the rules. Like, no, we're not psychos, bro. We're not psychos. You are. And I know somebody like Drake right now. You know this stuff is against Drake. You know you have to make these laws and stuff because of Drake. The fact that it was put into law. Drake is the most anti-hip hop nigga that's probably ever been in hip hop. I'm gonna keep it gangster. This is, man, the law which is expected to sign by Governor Westmore, shout out to Westmore, is part of a broader effort to limit this tactic, which criticizes, which critics say stifles freedom of speech and sways juries by playing to racial biases. Young Thug and Lil Durk have both recently faced indictments that quoted their lyrics. All right, anyway. The passage of PACE Act in Maryland marks an important victory for music creators, says Harvey Mason Jr., CEO of Recording Academy and State Federal. Silencing any genre or form of artistic expression is an attack on creative freedom. We'll say that again. Silencing any genre or form of artistic expression is an attack on creative freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, who has been saying this since day one? You can put it in the comment section. What rapper and YouTuber has been saying this since day one? Go back and watch all my videos about this Drake case, and I guarantee you will be like, wow, Screw is saying what these legal experts and Ivy League people have been saying the whole time. Yeah, because it's not some complicated thing. I tweeted this, and it really hit me after I tweeted it. Stan Wars and Standom really got niggas championing a nigga who is actively trying to limit artistic expression and your freedom of speech in a country he's not from. Do you realize that he will have set a legal precedent in America that might not even set in Canada? If you've gotten to the point where you are celebrating a champion, you're not a hip hop fan. You're just here to burn down the village. You want to cut your nose to spite your face. Drake don't even know that this helps Drake. That this helps Drake. Anyway. Prosecutors have used rap lyrics for decades to win convictions against the people who wrote them. And there's a lot of people like, not the dude from, oh my God, I can't remember, he was No Limit. And they caught him up for his lyrics too on some BS. I'm not talking about Silk. I'm not talking about C Murder. It was another dude. Man, I can't remember. Light Skin Buddy. I can't remember his name. Critics have long complained about this, arguing it denies defendants, innocent or guilty, their right to a fair trial by treating rap music as literal confession rather than art. But remember, they said the judge has to deem it. So if it is a confession, good. You can use it. But for most cases, no. For most cases, no. That's why when they said Lil Durk and Young Thug, I went, ask me how high, I tell them high as duck. You're saying names, bro. So anyway, but courts around the dissing on my cousin, I was asked all in that wood, but courts around the country largely upheld this practice, leading to the push for legislative change. In late 2020, the Maryland Supreme Court upheld a murder conviction against Lawrence Montague, at least partially based on jailhouse rap, in which prosecutors say he admitted to the crime. In technical terms, the law would not ban the use of lyrics in criminal cases. Like I said, there are certain times where, mostly it's drill. Mostly it's drill. It's very specific times, though. And we got to stop acting like that's the main thing and not the outlier. Instead, it would require prosecutors to show by preponderance of evidence that the lyrics are worthwhile evidence. Before lyrics will be admitted, judges will require that that the artists intend them as literal statements. Oh my God. This is literally the Drake thing. This is literally the reason why Drake lost. And why Drake has to lose with extreme, was it prejudice? He has to lose. I mean, he already has, but he has to keep losing bad with this case. That they refer to the fact that the case and they are relevant to disputing the fact in the case. That echoes similar law enacted in California in 2022, which created a so-called rebuttable presumption against the use of lyrics. Look, 2022. Damn. Louisiana has also passed restrictions on creative expression as evidence. New York has come close, and a federal bill has been introduced several times in Congress. Thank you. Kevin Lyles, music industry veteran and chairman of the Free Our Art group that pushed for the Maryland legislation, said in a statement Friday that he hoped that other states would soon tackle what he called growing weaponization of creative expression across, yes, courtrooms in America. It's funny that the spearhead of this is a rapper. The person that's really doing this is a rapper. Across America. As a kid growing up in Baltimore, music found me and hip hop saved my life. Lau said, when this bill is signed, we're turning our attention to New York State next, and we hope to have 2 bills passed this year. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out.